Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. We had two absolute stinkers of cards, one from Times Square on Friday and one from Riyadh on Saturday night. Absolutely terrible cards. Some good matchups when you look at them on paper, but nothing delivered. Well, finally, we got ourselves a great performance, in a sense, it was a great performance from two fighters, although this fight was an absolute beatdown. And that was between Rafael Espinoza, who's a WBO featherweight champ. He moves to 27 wins, 23 KOs, no draws, no defeats. And he beat down an unbelievably courageous and determined and resilient and tough Edward Vazquez. Stopped him in the 7th round. Vazquez, 17 wins with only 4 KOs, I think it is. This is his third defeat, but the first time he's been stopped. And if you look at his previous two defeats, they were questionable ones. One to Joe Cordina at the end of 2023, and then one to Ray Ford, which was a split decision. I think it was a split decision to Ray Ford. That was back in 2022. And this guy Vazquez, Jesus Christ, I mean, he didn't win a single 20-second period of any round, but what absolute courage he showed. Are you watching, Mr. Haney? And Mr. Garcia and Mr. Canelo and certainly Mr. Skull. Are you watching this guy? Because in defeat, I gave him more respect in defeat than all of you lot put together with your wins or non-efforts. Vazquez is a true fighter, and he just got beaten up and stopped by a very, very good champion in Rafael Espinoza, an improving champion. 6 foot 1 inches tall at featherweight, unbelievable height. 31 years of age, but this guy fights, I'm not saying necessarily fights small, but he's quite happy to fight mid-range. And he was letting his hands go, both hands up and down and up, uppercuts. The punch combination that finished Vazquez in the 7th round, about a minute and a half in roughly, was a quadruple right uppercut. The first 3 landed, the 4th missed. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And then Vazquez stuck on the ropes, left, right. And Harvey Dock, the referee, rightly jumped in and stopped the fight. He had been threatening to do so for several rounds, I think, really, since after 4 rounds. He was looking at, Vazquez in the corner and saying, "Are you okay? You want to carry on? Show me something," all this sort of stuff. And Vazquez didn't stop trying to win. He was still, and he was throwing, the odd 1-2 over the top against a guy who was half a foot taller than him, desperately trying to turn the tide, but he just couldn't do it. And Espinoza, who won the title from Robeisy Ramirez back in 2020, right at the end of 2023, I think it was. Since then, he's defended it. I think this was his 3rd defense. He stopped Ramirez in a rematch, and that was at the back end of last year, 24. And Ramirez actually quit at the start of the 6th round after about 10, 12 seconds. He took a punch and then turned away and waved it off, which was a very strange ending. Whereas the first fight had been really competitive. Majority decision. Ramirez had Espinoza on the floor in the 5th round, and then Espinoza got up, showed a brilliant engine, and managed to floor Robeisy. I think it was in the final round. So this is a much improved champion, WBO featherweight champion, Rafael Espinoza. And let's put it this way. In the first, is it 3 or 4 rounds, they said, I'm going by what the commentator said, Espinoza threw more punches than Devin Haney and Ramirez combined, in the whole of their fight. Okay, he's a featherweight, Espinoza, I get it. There's punch output differences, but no. And as for Vazquez, soaking up all that heat, I mean, it was quite astonishing to see the man just hang tough and refuse to go anywhere and refuse to quit. Definitely a worthy contender, but this was the type of beating that can leave a lasting effect. The key to the door for Espinoza was definitely the bodywork. The uppercut was landing, and Vazquez was taking them. I mean, he was rattled, but he was taking them. But was it the 3rd round, 4th round? When Espinoza started to go to the body, that was definitely the key to the door, because Vazquez dropped his hands and visibly moved backwards, hurt. And at several points, he was hurt to the body. And that over the next, 3 rounds or so. But he didn't go down. He didn't go down. He showed real grit, real guts, like they're going out of fashion. And when you consider that, American boxing is kind of in the doldrums at the moment. I hate saying this because a lot of my fistic heroes are American, and I grew up watching American boxing. I loved it. But they haven't got many that really shine through. It's in a dark place, American boxing, I think. Well, at least Edward Vazquez, who's from Fort Worth, Texas, he showed some real good old-fashioned American grit. Even though he took a beat down, he showed some guts, and he's got nothing to be ashamed of at all. And if this hasn't left a lasting effect, I think I think he can come back. Now, Espinoza is going to be one of looking at unifications, isn't he? And if we're talking unifications, we're talking IBF champ Angelo Leo. We're talking WBC, I think, is it Stephen Fulton? Yeah, Fulton. And then from a UK point of view, WBA is Nick Ball. So I would say, yeah, let's get that on, Nick Ball. Because you imagine Nick Ball, 5'2" Nick Ball, an absolute buzzsaw against a 6'1" buzzsaw in Rafael Espinoza. The guy's nearly a foot taller. I got to see that. I got to see that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. But what did you think of this fight? Because I was entertained, even though it was so one-sided. Maybe I was just relieved to finally see two guys who behave like real boxers. It was a great performance by Espinoza. He is really improving. They talk about when you win a belt, you can then, you become 30% better immediately. It's more like, in his case, it's more like 60% better. He is a very, very good champion. Very good champion. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Much appreciated. We would appreciate that. Yes, we would. It's your channel as much as mine. And I'll read your comments and see if I can reply to as many as I can. Thanks very much for your time as always, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.